Hey, it's Lisa Ryan, Chief Appreciation Strategist at Grategy. Welcome to another episode of Thank You Very Much, where we talk about gratitude strategies to create a workplace culture that rocks. It's April. I'm celebrating for the entire month with these videos. It's anniversary month, it's birthday month, and it's the birth of my newest book. Thank you very much. So, in today's time that we're together, I'm going to look at the chapter that I call No Employee Ever Quit Because of Too Much Training. So if you're one of those people that say, why should I invest in my employees? I mean, they're just going to take that training and leave anyway. My only response to that is, yeah, but what if you don't train them and they stay? So that's a really great way to get some training budget. And speaking of training budget, the Association for Talent Development, or ATD, actually says that there's an average spend that companies spend an average of $1,267 per employee per year for training. So you can take a look at what you're investing right now. And if it's a lot less than that, well, stay tuned for some ideas that you can use to increase that. And if it's way more than that, congratulations. You are actually giving your employees the tools, the resources they need, and probably the value from your organization that's going to make them stay a lot longer than otherwise. I know it was a couple of years ago, I was speaking at an HR conference, and I asked the question, how do you invest in your employees? And one woman raised her hand and she said, well, we give every employee $1,500 to use in whatever way they want for whatever personal or professional development they want. I mean, it could have been anything from, public speaking classes to skills training to underwater basket weaving. They didn't care. They would subsidize it. Well, you could almost see the heads of the accounting managers exploding as they were saying, we have 500 employees. We don't have that kind of money laying around. So I asked her the question. I said, what percentage of your employees actually take advantage of that? So think for a minute of a number in your mind. Here I am, I'm handing you $1,500. You can invest in any type of education for yourself that you want. What percentage of employees said yes? Well, the sad news is that it's the cynical people that always win this question when I'm doing it in my programs, because it's 3 to 5%. So you're giving a benefit that everybody can benefit from, but only a small percentage of your employees are actually taking advantage of it. And those are your future leaders. In this chapter, we talk with Allison Giddens, and she is the president of WinTech. And what she started doing to really allow her employees to have additional training is she makes computers available on the shop floor for people who want additional self-led training. So just by creating that type of learning culture, as well as providing the time and the resources for employees to take advantage of it. And there are lots of ways that you can do that. In the book, we talk about things like peer-to-peer training. Do you have people working for you who have some skills? You probably do. And maybe you don't even know what those skills are. But when you take advantage of your employees doing part of the training, not only are you giving them some visibility, not only are you building respect, an increased amount of respect for their coworkers because they are training something, their knowledge, but you're also reinforcing the things that they know. So there are some ways, and you can kind of spread the love, see what people want to learn, and not take advantage in that way, but yeah, take advantage of the people who you have working for you and let them shine by sharing what they know. Lunch and learns. Again, you have what, 1 million hours of content being uploaded to YouTube every minute. Yeah, I know that lots of them are cat videos. And spending the time looking at your vendors. If you're involved with trade associations, see what kind of resources they have. Buy some sandwiches, have your employees watch a video or do some kind of training so that they are all having the same conversation. Again, for the price of a lunch, you're building community and you're sharing ideas that may turn into the very ideas that can make your company money or save your company money. Having a learning library around that you're providing resources, but also making sure that your employees know how to use those resources. Because, for example, if you go to a conference and you come back and you give this book to your employees and you're like, here, I got this for you, they're going to be like, oh no, why did she give me this book? What does she think is missing? Why do I need to read that? Where instead, you may turn to that employee and say, you know what, there's a whole chapter in here on training and some of the ideas that we could implement. I would love if you would read through that and maybe at our next meeting, share some of those ideas. So you're teaching your employees how to use the resources. Because frankly, a lot of them may not have picked up a nonfiction book since high school or college. Having ongoing training in-house. You have the learning library, and maybe you have an in-house trainer. Maybe you have resources that people can go to, but making that part of your culture. Again, bringing in a culture, bringing in a culture, bringing in a trainer, shameless plug. Okay, I know. But when you bring in a third party, they're having a different conversation. Your employees are seeing the world differently because it's not somebody that they are seeing every day. Sending them to public seminars, again, especially your new supervisors, putting them in a room where they can get to know people who are in the same boat as they are. Trade shows. I speak at a lot of conferences and trade shows. And if you think about it, you bring some of your employees to those shows, they're seeing what's going on in the market. They're getting to meet the customers. They're learning about the new technologies, and they're getting to bond with their coworkers in probably a cool place. So think about that from a recruiting standpoint. When that employee is at the bar next Friday, they're like, yeah, just got back from Vegas. Really? What were you doing in Vegas? Had a trade show. My boss paid for me to go to Vegas. Your boss paid for you to go to a trade show? How do I work for a company like that? So when you're investing in your employees, and you might be saying, Lisa, I've tried lunch and learns before, they don't work, nobody comes. Did maybe you ask your employees, well, what do you want to learn? What is important to you? And don't have everything necessarily have to be specifically related to the job. We look at our employees holistically. Is there something that they need public speaking training? Oh, maybe look at bringing in a Toastmaster club to your organization. If you're not familiar with Toastmasters, just go to toastmasters.org. It's a public speaking club, and they will help you in 1 hour a week meeting to be able to get better at public speaking. But making these types of resources available and creating that learning workplace, the culture. There are lots more ideas in my book. If you haven't already picked up a copy, go ahead and click on the link in the comments, and you can go ahead and get your copy, whether it be on Kindle or a paperback. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts as far as how you are implementing some of the ideas in the book in your organization. And I would super duper love it if you would also leave an Amazon review for me, because that really, my goal is to get 100 of these reviews, and I'd love you to be in that top 100. So again, I am Lisa Ryan. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow.